Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Debra Eckerling, creator of the Deb Method for Goal Setting Simplified. I'm also the author of your Goal Guide and 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting, how to stay focused, grow your network, and get more time done in less time. Get more time and less done. No, that's wrong. I said it right. Anyway, you can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people. So every week I bring together some of my people. And as 52 Secrets, it just celebrated its half birthday last week. So this week's GoalChat is all achievers, 3 of the 60 achievers that I featured in 52 Secrets. And they're also, really dear friends. And I have to tell you, we were having the best before chat. I finally said, this is too good. People are missing out on how awesome you are. We should, and then we tangented again. So I am really thrilled. I have with me today Heather Eck, Jessie-Sierra Ross, and Dayna Steele. And like I said, they're just awesome human beings, and they really get the concept of this week's topic, which is art and soul on so many different levels. So absolutely thrilled to have them there and to have you here as well, whether you're watching live or the replay or listening to us as GoalChat on the Marketing Podcast Network. You are awesome. You chose your goals and to spend time with us today. So I so appreciate it. And I would love for my guests to share a little bit. I mean, right now, all you know is they're awesome and they're in my book. So maybe we need to get a little more detailed. So Heather, let's start with you. Who are you? And we'll go from there.
That sounds good. Thank you for having me back. It's always such a joy to be with you and spend time with you. My name is Heather Eck. I'm an intuitive artist based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I have the gift of clairsentience and synesthesia, so I see and sense color around people and in spaces. I paint beautiful, large, abstract pieces, but I also will be able to see through my clairsentience where somebody is feeling stuck or blocked in their body, mind, or spirit, and can help sort of usher them through the process of clearing those blocks so that they can step more into the life that they're here to lead. So I'm very excited to connect with everybody tonight.
Well, we want to hear your backstory, but not yet because we have to introduce the others. Jessie-Sierra, great to see you. Oh, and I have to add one other thing before you talk. So Jessie-Sierra is actually the last person I interviewed for 52 Secrets because, like I said before, it's 52 Secrets, but we have 60 achievers. And I had to add a couple people at the end, so we had a couple bonus people. And I had just interviewed Jessie-Sierra, and it has to be around this time last year because my deadline was in August. And I said, hey, want to come play and be in my new book? And when she introduces herself, you'll understand why her transformation really spoke to what I think setting goals and recreating your life is all about.
Holy smokes, what an introduction.
Go.
Oh, Deb, thank you so much for having me, and as always for letting me speak on so many different platforms. But yes, my name is Jessie-Sierra Ross. I'm a former professional ballerina turned, ballet coach, ballet teacher, but then I dove into the world of food and beverage as a food photographer, stylist, blogger, cookbook author, and TV food host. I am big into goal setting, but also really following your passions and making sure your goals and your passions are melded together because life is all about learning. And for me, being a forever learner has been such a huge, embracive experience. So I got to know Deb through the food and beverage space, and now we are having these amazing conversations. I just love it. So thank you again for having me here.
Well, it's always so much fun to see you. And I frequently say, to get what you want, you need to know what that is. And what you want may change, but who you are, the essence of yourself, that's a through line for everything. And you're just such a wonderful example, even though you think dance and food are like the opposite ends of the spectrum, but really not.
There's a more connection than you would think. There's theater, there's drama in both elements.
And speaking of drama,
oh my,
Dayna, great to have you here.
But I have so many questions for both of them. Can I ask Heather just one question before I say anything?
Of course.
When she went live, did any of our auras change?
I didn't see anything shift. No, but I could
Yeah,
see
'cause we're
that Dana's
also
color is still the same. Or I'm sorry, Jessie-Sierra's
mine's
color
a
is still the
color of
same.
wine. So, um, okay, I asked
Yeah,
Heather.
wait, Heather doesn't know this yet, but toward the end of the conversations, we're just going to have her read all of our color auras.
Okay, okay. I was just curious because I mean, for me, when somebody's like 3-2 live, I've done that since I was 17. So, but for some people, it could be stressful, whatever. I was just curious. That was just the first question that came to mind. Did the colors around any of us change when we went live? Dayna Steele.
Actually, before you jump in on that,
Okay.
something my mother used to say, she said, it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having, you turn on the camera and I go in full on a host mode. So I like to think that I'm mostly in that mode anyway. But she always saw that little switch, put the coin in the ear of Deb and she will start talking. So I get that. I resemble that remark.
I resemble that remark. I actually went on Chat GPT earlier and went, I need a shorter way to introduce myself. I am a rock radio Hall of Famer. I've written 17 books, most of them on success. I host 3 podcasts, but the very last book I did was Surviving Alzheimer's with Friends, Facebook, and a really big glass of wine, where I chronicled my mother's journey with Alzheimer's, losing her to Alzheimer's, using not only a lot of the information people shared with me, but a lot of dark humor. It became a play. And I now star in the play, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. So that's what I do.
Among other things, I mean, there are at least 24 other things I'm pretty sure that you do that we missed out on, but we will get there. And I really think a huge reason why this topic is so important is art and soul. What is art, right? What is soul? And whereas you all are like the very definitions of all of them, I feel like that's a great place to jump off of, because you live the life that you believe you're destined to be. Who you are is out there in all that you do. And I feel like that's a gift. And some people, we know the answers, but we don't always ask ourselves the questions. And by we, I mean other people. Right? So let's just start with the simplest one, which is, what is your art and how did you get there? So Heather,
Sure.
go. As the artist, you get to answer the art question first. You're welcome.
Thank you. I was always a really creative kid. I think my art was with me from the very beginning. I just didn't know how to express it, and I didn't always know how to talk about it. And I think at the time when I did vocalize, Mom and Dad, I'm an artist, or I love music, I love to do drama, I love to do all these things, they were kind of like, that's a great hobby. You should probably do something else. And so for a very long time, denied this side of myself until I was in my late 30s and I was at a job that was literally killing me, and kind of had to say, that's it, I'm done. I have to go do something else. So there's, the spiritual awakening, the working with the spiritual teacher, kind of tuning back into what are the gifts that you have, what are you meant to do here? And it all sort of circled back to art. And what I did as part of the journey to discovering all of this for me was kind of going back in time and looking at what was happening in my childhood. What was I really good at? What was I sort of like intuitively sort of navigating towards? And it was always art and color. And I would lay on my floor and draw what music looked like, or I would listen to a song and see choreography in my head. And so there were all of these signs pointing towards synesthesia, which at the time I didn't know what that was, but it's essentially where your senses get crossed in your brain, and my brain sees sound as shape and as color. Foods and drinks and everything are sort of like a choreography of stuff in my mind. And so now my art really is people's energies, people's souls. So I capture what your soul looks like in a painting. I capture what big global energies look like in a painting. And I would call it slow art. It's the kind of thing that you have to spend time with and sort of sit with and meditate with, because it will speak to you in ways that, in languages that you didn't even know you could speak, through color, shape, and form. And so now my art is sort of holding that up to you to say, look at your beautiful, radiant spirit. Aren't you amazing? And you're here to do amazing things. And through conversation and deep counseling, I think you can start to ask yourself those questions, like, who am I? What am I here to be doing? Where am I blocking myself? And how do I find the path forward? And that's the work that I do now.
And your art is full of soul, so it's a little bit cheating on the next question, but we'll dive in a little bit more. Don't you worry. I got you, friend. And it really is amazing, because there's just the power in connecting to what you are meant to do. The fact that your connection is helping others also figure that out, I think that gives it an extra layer there. So, yeah. Jessie-Sierra, what is your art, and how did and you could talk about one or both, up to you, dealer's choice, and how did you find it, or how did it find you?
It's so funny to have the option of one or both, but I think mine is very much interconnected. So I started at the first part of my life completely in love with dance and with music and theater. I was a child that lived kind of in my own head. I had a severe speech delay. I had a stutter, social anxiety, and the only way that I ever felt comfortable communicating was through movement. And so I was kind of a crazy kid who liked to fall out of trees, and my mother said, okay, you're going to dance. And I popped into the dance studio and I fell in love, because there's rhythm, there's repetition, there was ways to connect with other people in that room, as well as adults, that didn't involve me speaking. And what turned into the most basic mode of communication turned into art. And it was something that was very much a feeling. It was very much a mutual connection. And as I grew into my career, I became a professional at 14 years old, joining a professional ballet company with artists from all around the world. It became something that I found benefit in the experience, and not just the experience that I was having, but to give others that experience. So when I retired and I went to school and I switched gears, became a mother, moved out to the country, I'm a city girl at heart, I needed something to do. And I was doing bonkers cuckoo banana pants at home with two little kids at under 3 years old. And
that would be the technical term.
Bonkers cuckoo banana pants. Yeah. And I've always been like in it, full-fledged, going. And then suddenly I had to slow down, and I don't do slow very well. In fact, you can ask my old dance teachers. I was a petit allegro fiend, and I decided I was going to learn how to cook. Once I figured out how to learn to cook, I started teaching others. That's been a pattern all my life, is when I can break down structures and systems so that I can understand them better, and also sort of fact check and fix the errors, I teach others. So I started a blog called Straight to the Hips Baby, which the name implies everything. And I love cocktails and sugar and full fat everything. And what started off as storytelling and food translated into TV segments and TV spots all over the country, and then led to my cookbook, which we can get into more later. But the connection between participating in an experience and then giving, that to me is soulful. When I go on stage and grab that audience's attention as a soloist for 3 minutes, it's very hard to do. It's like public speaking. But then I can turn that around, set a table that's glorious and filled with flowers and antiques and stories and vignettes and action and delicious food and drink, and give my guests and family that experience as not a performance, but as an immersive sort of frozen space and time. That is my soul. I want to feed you, I want to comfort you, and I want to give you something that you can take with you through life.
Wow.
That's hard to follow. Do I have to?
Sorry. Speech
yes, you
impediment's
do.
not a problem now.
Well, I will vamp. I'll give you a second. No, I love this whole concept of learn and then teach. But I feel like that's also a through line. I mean, and someone said to me once, years ago, but of course it's stuck. Deb, you realize that your specialty is goals. You have a methodology. You realize there's nothing new under the sun with goals. And I said, this is my vision. This is what I've learned, and this is how I am teaching it. So it doesn't matter if what you do is personally, I think the way that I do goals is unique and they're a whole, because no one does the foundational. But the point of the matter is you learn, you process, and you bring it into your world, whether it's on purpose or not. You bring it into how you express yourself, whether it's on purpose or not, because that's what we do. We learn, we give, we share. Okay, Dayna, was that enough of an interlude?
Yes, yeah.
You're welcome.
Actually, I wrote down empathetic communicator. That's what I've always been. I was protesting at 5. I was always in tune to people's feelings, and music always moved me. I don't know if you've seen all the posts the last couple of days from Jesus Christ Superstar and the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, as a teenager, I just locked myself in my room and just listened to that over and over, because the music, I just felt it so strongly. And as a child and as a teenager, I mean, as a teenager, you're emotional enough as it is. And then you add that into it. I mean, but to this day, I'll be 66 next week. To this day, a song can make me cry. I pick up on what people are saying when maybe other people don't. So I guess that's my art, is I'm an empathetic communicator. So when I went off to college to be a doctor at 16, like anybody knows what they want to do at 16.
Wait. I'm stuck on this doctor thing. This is new.
Yes, I'm getting there. I went to Texas A&M when I was 16. I had a car, an apartment, a college ID, and a boyfriend and a band. I was rocking. I wasn't particularly going to class, but I was rocking. But I chose pre-med because that sounded like I could help people. That sounded like it would impress people. It sounded like a lofty goal that I should have. This would be Wonder Husband coming in with my wine. Love you. Find a man that will go get you wine when you go, I'm out. Here's my glass. But anyway, so I changed my major and my living arrangements like every 3 months or so my parents could try to figure out what I was doing at Texas A&M. And I met this really cute DJ, and I thought, well, if I audition for the new student radio station, he'll ask me out. He never asked me out, but I got to tell you, when I auditioned, the minute I put on those headphones and could talk to people, and I could, little Dana Nicholson at the time, 90 pounds soaking wet, bullied in high school, had this voice, and I could be anybody in that room. And with this voice, I could demand your attention, but I could tell you when people needed help in College Station. I could tell you when there was a great concert coming. I don't know if I would have lasted in radio with all the cameras and everything they have now, but being in that room and being alone and being able to be anybody I wanted to be, and I could feel it. To this day, I can put on the headphones and it's just the music. It's like you see the colors, Heather. I feel it all through my body, which served me later on when I became music director of one of the top rock stations in the country. People would bring in records and say, what do you think of this? And I could hear them and go, oh my God, that's a hit. Or I don't feel it. I never said I don't hear it. I said I don't feel it. I remember the first time they brought me Melissa Etheridge. I was speechless. I was almost in tears in my office because I felt her pain. I felt her love. I felt everything. So that's empathetic communicator, and that's what radio gave me. And then, from that, I think to me, podcasts are just another radio station. I ran for Congress twice in a district in Texas I knew I couldn't win in. But again, empathetic communicator. Nobody was going to run. I felt like I needed to say something, and I was pretty much the only one we were pretty sure they wouldn't shoot. So, which is, a good thing to keep in mind when you're running for office in Texas. And, with my books, And then when my mom died of Alzheimer's, I was so numb for several months afterwards, which is a whole nother story. You go through the 7 stages of grief when you're caring for someone with a fatal disease. And when they die, you're expecting the 7 stages of grief, and you've already gone through those. So after a couple of months of numbness and not knowing what to do with myself, I thought, I'm going to take all those Facebook posts and turn them into a book. Take the things that helped me the most, that gave me the most information, that made me feel better about myself and how I was caring for her, and the things that made me laugh, because I'm a huge believer in dark comedy to get through anything. So, empathetic communicator. That's what I do, and I'm still doing it. I can't stop it. I've tried. I don't understand why I can't just go play bad golf. I just can't. I can do it for about 9 holes, and then my attention span's gone. And I feel like I need to go do another podcast or edit a podcast, write another book, or post entirely too much on Facebook. But most of what I post, if you go back and look at my Facebook, is all empathetic communicator. Whether it's politics or Alzheimer's or just a sweet story I've seen. So that's my new title. I like that.
Am I the only one who is going to, well, yes, I'm the one who's going to remark on the fact that Dayna, the empathetic communicator, said, I have to follow that. And this just followed that with that.
Well, thank you.
I think we call that irony, maybe.
And before I forget, just totally out of it, is it Jessie or Jessie-Sierra? Which do you like to be preferred to call?
Jessie to my friends. You're a friend.
Jessie to my friends.
I could call you Jessie now?
Yeah.
I've been calling you Jessie-Sierra for years. Okay.
I know.
Oh, you can be her friend too. Her name is Jessie. Jessie, if you get a chance, go on Instagram and look at Harper Waters, our new principal dancer with the Houston Ballet, who was actually surprised on stage after a performance. They brought him out and told him he didn't even know he was going to be named the new principal dancer of the Houston Ballet. And he's been with them since he was like 12 in their academy. He's amazing.
I will definitely check it out.
He's bringing so many young people into the ballet in Houston with his Instagram account and his antics on Instagram and whatever, but it's fun. So, and I just thought you will love him. And he is pretty to look at.
Often happens.
I was going to say that never hurts, right? And so, Dayna, your primary way of sharing the message is through Facebook, but you use other.
I use them all: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is the bane of my existence, but I'm learning. I'm getting better. YouTube. I tried Blue Sky and I don't have the patience. I use LinkedIn more in a business sense. But I feel like they're all, you have different formats in radio. They're all different formats and I have different audiences on each one. So I try to present things in such a way that I'm keeping in mind who my audience is. So it becomes time consuming because we have this segmented. I mean, it used to be I could go on the radio from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday and talk to 3 million people. But it's like when DJs come to me now, young DJs, and say, I want to be like you. What do I do? I'm like, well, you go back in time and you get rid of Pandora and Spotify and Facebook and Instagram. I was your only source of information. I was your only source of concert tickets. I was your only source for everything in the 80s. If you wanted to know when Van Halen was coming, if you wanted any of that, you had to come to me. So I try to do the same thing I used to do on radio, which is, share humor, share information, get indignant sometimes. But you have to share it across many different platforms in many different ways. So you can be an artist all you want, but you better know how to share your art with each of your audiences because they're all different.
So true.
And same question, Jessie and Heather, what are the things that you do? And I know Jessie's tip in the book is if you can't find a community you like, you create one. What are other ways that you get your message out there?
Heather, go ahead.
Oh, my gosh. I think primarily it's connecting with people. I think that's one of the main things that I've been able to do over the last couple of years. I met this wonderful woman named Anastasia, who has been my podcast booking agent, and she's amazing. And she has connected me to some of the most incredible people that exist out there. And I just posted this on LinkedIn too. I did a whole article about the ROI of podcast guesting, because what I can do is sort of like see all these little links that have formed across the last 2.5 years of relationships that have been developed one-on-one. And then I think, oh, I just met this amazing person. You should meet them too. And then I send a little email and then they connect. And so a lot of it has been these very intentional conversations with people to help them meet one another, because there's some sort of synergy or something that in me that goes, oh, you should know this person. And so that's one of the things that I love the most, is just connecting people. And then I'm also out there in the social media world trying to connect to people on Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok and all the things. But I have had some trouble, I think, sort of nailing down my messaging at times. And so I think I'm getting clearer on that, and in a way that's helping people understand who I am and what I do, because I'm a visual artist, so you can see these large, beautiful pieces, but there's also this like beautiful undercurrent of healing that comes through. And that's so hard to fit on a business card. And so that's been a little bit challenging for me.
And we should also add that Anastasia is the one who introduced you to me.
That's right. Yeah.
And there you go. You never know when you meet someone. And obviously, this is my favorite way of connecting, because I get to bring people together. Like this conversation is a great example. And I'm like, okay, we just did 6 months. Who are 3 people who really get this topic, who need to be in each other's world?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Jessie-Sierra.
Jessie, you're her friend now. It's just Jessie.
I've been calling her both names for a year. And
I love it. I am so happy that you say my name. There's so many people who butcher it, or they're like, why are you so pretentious? Why are you saying your middle name? Like, oh God, my parents were hippies. I can't help it. This is my first name. You don't even want to know my middle name.
And I will tell you, Vibeke von Rosen, who introduced me to Dayna and other people, she mostly calls me Debra. Every now and then she calls me Deb, and it's like it's the same thing. The intro, hi, I'm Debra, call me Deb after that. But every now and then it's like, it's okay. You can call me whatever you want. You call me Debbie, I won't answer. But the other versions of my name, absolutely. Well,
I love it.
I'll look for a 12-year-old kid standing behind me if you call me that one.
Well, if someone calls me Jessica, I just kind of stare daggers at them. Not my name, not even close. Anyway, yeah.
You can call me anything you want if you donate to my play.
We have no filter on GoalChat.
Sorry, Jessie.
Which is awesome.
That's funny. No, you're making me laugh so hard. I'm like, my eyes are tearing. So for connection, I think I resonate very deeply with what's been said already, that as artists, I think that we first create for ourselves, right? We're in this little circle and we create for ourselves. We're very happy for ourselves. And if we feel brave enough, we start to expand that circle, family, dear friends. Then we start to expand to the greater sort of community, and then to the world. And it's that greater community to world jump that is, I find, the most frightening and most intimidating, because suddenly you're not in this safe bubble anymore. And that's when you have to kick your own behind and say, how is anyone going to know who you are and what you're doing and why it's important to say what you're saying? Because we all get to that point in our art, whether it's the medium is through print, through audio, through visual arts, through movement, performance, where we feel confident enough, challenged enough that we want to say, I need to share this. So for me, I am on all the platforms. You search Straight to the Hips Baby or Jessie-Sierra Ross. I am the only Jessie-Sierra Ross in the world. You will find me. I'm everywhere. But it's about planting many different seeds and taking the risk. One of the greatest risks that for me ended up reaping the best rewards was starting off on Clubhouse way back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that audio platform. I created a community. It was the Food Blog School where during the pandemic, I was again going bonkers cuckoo banana pants at home because I was homeschooling my children in the middle of a disaster and stressed. My work had shut down. The world was falling apart. I didn't want to stop learning because that's when I go a little stir crazy. So I established a community. I didn't see one out there for food creators. I said, you know what? There's too many isolation sort of groups. There was the chefs, there was the photographers, there were the stylists. They were all like beads on a string. And instead, I wanted them to come together as a piece of jewelry. So I created this group. It was over 2,000 people strong. And not only was I able to make new friends and learn, like each and every day, learn something new, I created a community for them. And so this community is still going strong, even though, Clubhouse is defunct. This community is still active. We're still talking to each other. We're still asking for advice. We're still commiserating. We're still asking, hey, what do you think about this work? What about this, am I getting screwed over here? You need those people that can tell you, especially in the world of content creation or the arts, what is happening? Who's got their finger on the pulse? Who has the experience to tell a novice, hey, you're doing good? Or to say, hey, you're getting taken advantage of. So I think it's all about taking the risk and finding new pathways to communicate and to connect. And if you don't find it, if you don't find the mode that's out there, you establish your own on the platform that you're the strongest on, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. God love you. If you can figure out TikTok, please send me advice because I cannot. I don't know. I look at cat videos.
Mine are food. I look at food videos. So
Hey, there you go.
go.
I'm on there, but I enjoy it as a viewer. But you find me on Instagram. You ask me a question, I am going to share. I'm going to give you the recipe, the mixology, sort of pro tips, the tablescape details, here's a day in my life as a content creator who wears all the stinking hats all the time. And oh yeah, I got 3 boys at home.
Mine are gone.
I'm not there yet. I got 3 more years till the first one's in university. But it's people around you are going through the same things and they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for content that is aspirational. I think it's very funny when someone looks at my content and they think, or my life, because I'm very real on my page. I'm very real in real life on screen in my books. And they look at it as idealized, like, I want this. And I look around like, do you know how many plates I am spinning? And several of them are like on fire right now. But we're doing it because we want the relationship. And if we can find those people that are hungering for that, you will find your connection. You will find your community.
Was that your dog barking?
Not mine. No dogs, cats and kids.
I heard a dog in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, not me.
It was my dog. It was my dog. That's why I muted.
It wasn't me because all of my animals are inanimate.
I was like, it could be the 9-year-old. I don't know where he is, but it could be that one.
I was going to ask, and I'm flipping around the questions. I was going to ask something else, but on the track, what is it that you're excited about that you're working on right now? And is there something you need to bring it to the next phase? And we're going to start with Dayna because I know she's got an answer.
My book is Surviving Alzheimer's with Friends, Facebook, and a really big glass of wine. It became the play, The Woman in the Mirror, which I star in. It is the award-winning play. We won Best Production in the Desert Theatrical Awards in Southern California. I was nominated for Best Actress. I have never acted in my life. I just assumed that was a dream that was gone a long time ago. But I'm very proud of this play. It is a comedy for caregivers. It's a love letter to caregivers. And I know it's good, and I know it touches a nerve with so many people that need it. Caregivers need to know that no matter what they're doing a good job, and they're not alone. And it's okay to say fuck, and it's okay to drink wine, and it's okay to say I don't like this person, and it's okay to cry, and you're going to feel guilty and all these things, but I can make you laugh during all of that. And I'm happy to say, after 126 rewrites and 6 years, we have a final script, and we are ready to book this play into theaters next year. It is for small theaters. It's for 75 seat to maybe 150 seat. Small theaters are black boxes. I'm Equity. My director is Equity. And we're trying to book it. And I have absolutely not a clue what I'm doing, but I've never had a clue in everything I've done. And I just am figuring it out. So it's a beautiful play. It's an incredible tribute to anyone you've ever lost to Alzheimer's. But more than anything, it's a tribute to caregivers. And one of my favorite lines in the play is, caregivers need caregivers too. They really do. So it's The Woman in the Mirror. You can go to daynasteele.com. You can watch the highlights reel. You can contact me if you're interested in seeing the play, and you have a theater. I have a full production we filmed. And you know what? I'm not going to let this show die, because I know it helps entirely too many people of all ages.
I just thought of a theater in LA that I'm going to introduce you to.
So, and that's all it is. It's just,
well, I'm just looking to get you here so we can meet in real life.
It's like somebody sending their music to the record company. If the record company doesn't know the music is coming, it's never going to get. So anytime anybody can make an introduction to an artistic director, somebody involved in a small theater, hey, this is my friend Dayna, would you look at her highlight reel? And I have a deck, and if after they see the deck and after they see the highlight reel, if they want more, I have a script and a full production. But I know it's good. And I knew after this last production, I was going to make a decision. Is it time to keep going, or do I just hang it up and go, there, I did it. I've acted, I've won awards, I've written a play. Now let's go do something
keep
else.
Going.
I'll tell you a quick story. We went out to dinner one night after a matinee. And we were in Sierra Vista, a retirement community near the Mexican border in Arizona. And our waiter was a young man, probably in his late 20s. And I was like, how the heck did you end up in Sierra Vista? And he goes, oh, well, ma'am, I grew up here. And, my grandmother raised me, and now it's my turn to come take care of her. I just handed him my card and I said, you need to come see my play. And he told me what night he was coming. And during the curtain call, I'm always telling people, go to my website for resources. Don't try to do this alone. And by the way, I said, is John here? Can you bring the house lights up? And he raised his hand and I said, I see you, sweetheart. I see you. I had no idea why he was taking care of his grandmother, but I asked him later. He came up to the table and he was sobbing. He goes, she was just diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I knew that's why he was home. Again, that empathetic communicator. The minute he said, I came back home to take care of my grandmother, I just knew. I knew. And I know what it does for people. So that was a lot. But you can tell I'm very, very passionate. I hope my aura is purple, because that is Alzheimer's. And, my mom spent her whole life. She was just, she makes me look like a poser. She was so outgoing but always helping people. And some people say, I can't believe, you show the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever of your mom during Alzheimer's. I'm like, are you kidding? I made her a friggin' star. She's loving it. Everybody knows who Fran Nicholson is at the end of the play. So.
Okay. So Heather, you want to comment on Dayna's aura?
Thank you for sharing all of that. I can't wait to see it. What I saw for you initially was green and yellow. So green is the color of the heart chakra. There are two colors of the heart. One is green, one is pink. Green is about self-love, self-compassion, and acceptance.
Good, because I hate pink.
Pink is like the universal love. That's like the collective energy. And then yellow, which is associated with the solar plexus. And that is often about how like our sense of identity, how we see ourselves and how we want to be seen, like our sense of power, our like personal power and will. And so I see you as sitting in this space. I always think of the heart as the bridge. So you have your physical experience, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and the solar plexus. And then the heart is the bridge to the upper chakras, which is all about like expression, communication, authenticity. Your third eye, which is all about intuition and inner knowing. And then your crown chakra, which is your connection to the divine. So I see you as sort of spending time here in the heart and the solar plexus, which could mean that you're sort of trying to cultivate this new sense of identity, or this new place where you see yourself differently, or you're trying to see yourself differently, or you want other people to see you differently. And there is a lot of inner work happening in the heart space to sort of help usher that along.
All right. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
So all of our colors are in alignment with everything she's doing right now.
Just pushing it out there. Pushing it out there.
That's pretty awesome.
It's
Okay,
how I
so
want people to see me, but it's hard to, it's been so hard to move on from the rock and roll persona, but I finally moved on from that. And now to move on, once you run for Congress, you're labeled forever. So it's like, yeah, that was then. Now I'm doing a play. And it's for Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and Martians. It's for everyone.
It's for all, the collective.
And so Heather, what are you, is there something that you're working on right now that you want to claim and share?
Sure. Yeah. I'm working on, I think, two big things. The first is, I'd love to be able to put my work out into the world in a bigger way, whether that's in a gallery or an exhibition. My work, it's bigger, so it takes up a lot of space. And so sometimes that's a little hard, but it's also deeply meaningful work that addresses like bigger issues out in the world. I have this really strong connection to spiritual responsibility. And a lot of my work is sort of like a modern translation of very ancient or very deeply old histories. And so it's always connected to the Bible. I'm studying biblical Hebrew. I'm trying to just understand, like, where did we start? Where are we going? And why does everything feel so hard right now? And so a lot of my larger work explores that. So I'd love to be able to connect. If you know anybody in gallery spaces or people who are out there working in exhibition spaces who are curious about emerging artists, that would be a really fun place to play. And then, my work with individuals, I think, is really important. I've been able to help people clear blockages in their lives to be able to put art out into the world. I have a wonderful story of a woman who was blocked in her throat. And after we spent some time together learning that she had a really traumatic childhood that she was actively working on telling the story about. After I did a portrait for her and we sort of looked at it together and saw where she needed to be able to express that, she went and wrote a book about it and literally like cleared and excavated all this hurt out of there. So really powerful work. So I'm creating this container for women to be able to see themselves through art, to actually do the work of exploring themselves more deeply and more spiritually so that they can live richer, fuller, and more radiant lives.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to tell you to read your own colors, but I'm curious, can you?
It's sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I'll try to see like what's around me. It's usually green. I don't know if you know, Deb, like most of the time when I'm on a podcast, I wear green because I'm always in my heart space and I'm always like actively working on self-love, acceptance, compassion. Because I think as artists, and Jessie, you said this too, like you do your work and it feels so good and you're like, oh, this is so nice. I want to, widen the circle a little bit. There's still the vulnerability hangover, I think, of putting your work out into the world and telling people who you are. And so I'm always working on my heart. So tonight, I just said, screw it. We're going to wear all the colors. So I'm working on everything head to toe.
Okay, so I have to add one of the colors that Heather told me that I need to lean into is orange. And it is actually my favorite color growing up. was orange. My bedroom was orange. All the things were orange. My sheets, everything. And I love that when your goal guide came out, I had no input into the cover, but these were the colors of my bedroom, the yellow and the orangey things. I was at the California Restaurant Show on Sunday, and I kept getting orange things. There were like orange pens, and the lanyard was orange. And I'm like, ooh, and I'm going to see Heather tomorrow. So apparently the universe knew that you were going to be on my podcast today, and they prearranged all the swag, or a bunch of the swag, to be orange.
I love it. I love it.
Jessie-Sierra, what are you working on right now? And is there support that you need that we or anybody tuning in might know about, might be able to help you on?
I so appreciate that you give us the platform to ask, because it's the hardest thing in the world is to ask for help. And I'm one of those. My ask is I need introductions. My work, I've been told, I feel it in my bones, is ready. It's ready for a larger platform. It's ready for a television series. It's ready for more podcasts, more radio, more hands-on experiences. I focus on the food and lifestyle area. I am your cool auntie that you can ask, how do I do this? And it could be anything from floral arrangements to budgeting for a dinner party when you have maybe 2 pennies to sweet together. It could be, I am planning a party for 50 people. How do I do this while maintaining my own personal touch and identity? I'm your lady. I've lived it. I've been there. And I want to bring more joy and more connection, more small moments with your greatest loves around you. I think now more than ever, we're not able to find the space to do that. And sometimes we have to make a conscious decision that you're going to set the table, you're going to invite your friends, and you're going to sit down and eat and connect. So I need that help. I'm working on a new cookbook proposal, which I had mentioned earlier before we went on air. It is something that's very close to me. It actually I've been mulling like marbles, like in my mind, what I wanted to do. And I had all these ideas, and I was waiting for that one to kind of attract me. And it clicked. It has a lot to do with my upbringing. I'm first generation American. I'm of Ukrainian descent. I'm Jewish, and there's a lot of history in food, but I find that food is the through line. And so I will be creating, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll be creating something that is going to be very much about flavor, about ingredients, about hands-on food, hands-on recipe creation, so that anyone can sort of bring dinner together without a lot of fuss or sweat, but understand the potential that good whole ingredients have, with flavor, with fat, with sugar. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be cocktails in there. So I'm working on that. I'm working on developing a podcast that's reminiscent of the Food Blog School, which will be hopefully launching in the fall. And also growing my Substack, Jessie-Sierra The Last Bite. It's all about creating more of a platform that more people can find me and I can find them. So if you
you got to do TikTok. Because
I don't know what to do.
I know, but you got to setting tables. Here, I'll give you your very first lesson. I bought one of those cameras that attaches to anything. Mm-hmm. And I married a lovely Cuban man. You've met him.
Yeah. And the wine deliverer.
I was trying out a new pan for my abuelas, my mother-in-law's flan, because it has to be an old metal pan that doesn't have non-stick or anything. It can't have all that crap on it. And I got a new pan, and I did that thing underneath the microwave, and I did the caramelization, and it worked, and it was great. And I recorded the whole thing because I had given a young friend of mine, sent her one of these pans to make it for her daughter. So I did it was a 30-minute friggin' commentary on how you got to keep it moving, and the cat's screaming in the background. And I'm like, you can't even take the cat out. You can't stop for 10 seconds. You don't want to burn it. You want to caramelize it. It was beautiful. I forgot to hit record. So I guess I was talking to myself and that stupid cat for 30 minutes.
You're your own best listener. That I talk to myself all the time because my children don't even listen to me. So it's either that or I sometimes talk to the ceiling.
It was a good flan, and it was the perfect.
Amazing.
It came out perfect. So
amazing.
Okay, I just realized I forgot to ask Heather about Jessie's aura. So any color aura insight?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I warned you.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh, yeah. Before we hopped on, I saw blue-green around you. I mentioned the green is about the heart, the blue is about the throat. A lot of us are, especially women, we sit in the heart and the throat space because we are feeling all the feelings and doing all the things, but we're not always actively communicating exactly what it is that we need or what we feel or what it is that will make us feel whole. And so most of the time when we sit here, it's because we're working on activating the divine feminine and sort of leaning into this place of nurturing, self-care, compassion. But it's also this place where we need to sort of talk to ourselves and ask ourselves what it is that we need, but also to be able to communicate it out and request it as well, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it sounds like you figured her out as well, which is good. Well, but the whole point in the conversation on art and soul is it doesn't matter what you are doing, you are creating something. Even if you're creating dinner or creating a garden, what is something that you love that you are putting your soul into? And I believe, and you all know this, I'm on a mission to change the way people think about goals. So many people think that goal is a 4-letter word. I mean, it is a 4-letter word. So many people think goal is the bad kind of 4-letter word. And I say that it is magic. When you have the things that you love that you incorporate, even if it's just a little bit into your life or into your life a little bit at a time, that's going to raise your vibration and give you the energy to deal with all of the other stuff that you have no control over. So think about what it is that you love that you want to get out more into the world and really tap into that. And we're going to gift goals in a second. So start thinking, friends.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I would like to know what Jessie, my friend, is making for dinner.
Well, I'll tell you, what time is it? It's almost 8:00 here in Massachusetts. So
Okay.
I will
You've
be
already made
getting
it.
takeout. Oh, no, I'm getting takeout, baby. I mean, I may love to cook, but I'm not insane. I'll be cooking. I had plans to do a ragu, but that takes 3 hours. So I will be having sushi. Good question. Sushi, and I might be having a little dram of whiskey. Don't tell anyone.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
And
choice.
what about you, Heather? What are you eating for dinner? Or did you eat already?
No, not yet. And so my husband and my son went to the gym, and on Monday nights, the grocery store has like a pizza takeout special. So I'm sure they stopped and picked up takeout pizza for us tonight.
Okay, Dayna, same question.
I actually am having popcorn and the tres leches my son made last night.
Yes, ma'am.
That sounds so good.
I actually made, you know what? I took a gluten-free pizza earlier, which I love. I love the cauliflower pizza, and I buy a thing of mushrooms, baby bellas, and I saute those with garlic and onion, and I put those on top of the gluten-free, and then I heat that up. So that's what I was eating earlier, sort of a snack. But tonight I've decided it's popcorn. I usually eat really damn healthy. I do. But tonight it's like I want popcorn and I want some more of that tres leches that my son made last night.
We make all of the rules in the service of our lives, the lives that we're creating. So we have the good life so we can share our art, our soul, and make the world better for the people who need our message. So you eat whatever you want.
And I will.
And you will.
I'm telling you, popcorn and Chardonnay
It's the best.
is a
Yeah.
go-to dinner.
The kettle corn.
I always thought that red wine was healthier.
You know, it probably is, but you know, as a speaker on brain health, none of it is. But I do all the other things. I sleep well, I exercise, I usually eat right. You know, but my 25-year-old made tres leches last night. This is a young man who doesn't like people or food, and he doesn't eat, and he's a waiter. Go figure.
And he's your child.
He's my child. Yeah, but he made a killer tres leches, and so damn it, I'm gonna eat it with my popcorn. It's been a long day begging for play money.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention before we get into goals. So on the third Wednesday of every month, I now do a GoalChat online mixer, and the August theme is, and I haven't figured out a way to say it shorter. It's what do you need? How can you help? So if you've got something you need, or you want to be helpful to others, or if you just want to come on the show, that's the thing is I start getting these blind Deb, I want to be a GoalChat. Great. I bring my friends together. Want to be friends? Come to one of my mixers. We can become friends. Then you can be on my show. So if you're interested in any or all of this, if you go to thedebmethod.com/blog, all that information, along with the links to the wonderful people I have on today, that'll be in the recap as well. Yes, I'm jumping ahead. So I was going to ask, I'm gonna merge the question we didn't get to because we tangented too much, which is never too much, is what can people do to tap into their art or really feel more of their soul? So that's going to be the theme for the goals you are gifting. Jessie-Sierra, what goals do you wish to gift?
Authenticity is such a word that's thrown around, but I think find what speaks to you, because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to give it your all. You're not going to want to share it. I think the goal is that we are inundated with what we should be doing, comparing ourselves negatively, instead of acknowledging that where we're at with that skill set that we love. And that's the focus is I love this. So when I was in dance, I loved moving, just moving. And in that moment, in that space, that was my world. And it's identifying what is that thing that just takes you out of where you are sitting now, and you have all the world's problems around you, all the responsibilities. What is that one thing? It could be running, it could be painting, it could be pottery, it could be moving a Zumba class. What is it that speaks to you and takes you out of that sort of whirlwind that you can also keep going and share? So the goal is to identify your passion and remember it. Don't forget it. Remember it. Remember to keep doing it, because a passion is only the gateway to that talent, to that goal. It's the practice of it that really, really has to be emphasized.
Okay, I have a follow-up question. I love this as a goal, but for those people who are too stuck in their own head, what can they do to figure it out?
Process of elimination. Take on paper, and I have my notes. I'm writing things down, trying to figure out how I'm going to help my new friends. Figure out 5 things you like. Write them down on paper. Identify. Go talk to, it's like, we were talking about talking to or listening to the radio host. If you like cooking, figure out where those cooking classes are. You love, classic rock, figure out where you can buy those tickets. Is that what you want to start doing? You want to collect records? Cool. Go find the record store in your town. Pick 5 things that sort of attract you. Try them each out. See what fits. See what really kind of makes you hunger to keep going. For me, it's always something tactile, whether it's eating and drinking or moving, or for fashion and makeup, flowers. You have to go all in to experience something. And I don't mean anything crazy or stupid or dangerous, but take the cooking class. Go to the mixology class. You love flowers? Go to Trader Joe's and get a bunch of flowers and start playing around. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get stuck by a thorn on a rose. You did it. Do you like it? No? Move on. It's all about finding it.
Well, and that is really the ethos of 52 Secrets. The secret to success is there is no one secret. Take these ideas out for a spin, do more of what works, and stop doing the things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Good answer. Okay, Dayna, what goal are you gifting today?
I want you to, if you don't know what it is you want to do, or you're having a hard time figuring out what's next or where you should be, I want you to journal every night for 6 weeks. I don't care if it's a cheap, the dollar notebook from the dollar store, but every night I want you, before you go to sleep, I want you to write down one thing. Where were you happiest today? And not giddy happy. I mean, content happy. Where were you happiest? every single night before you go to bed, write it down, let go of it, go to sleep. And at the end of 6 weeks, not until then, I want you to go back and read the entire thing. And you will see what it is you like, where you're happiest, where you're most content. I did this for myself, and it was when I was writing, when I was creating, and when I was folding laundry and doing field trips with my young boys at the time. And I did. I went to Wonder Husband and I said, I want to quit my 6-figure high powered job. And he was like, okay, I love you. Okay. It's 6 figures though. I'm like, yeah, but I'm miserable. I absolutely just want to pull the covers over my head. And that's when I decided to start my own company and start writing and leave the 6-figure job and start creating, and met with people and said, could I write for you or whatever? The best thing I ever did for myself. And it also gave me more. I became a soccer coach. Ask me how much I know about soccer. But, I was breathing and had a pulse. So I became the soccer coach. But I did. I got to spend a lot of time with my kids, and I worked from home and created my own companies and my next chapter and wrote the first book. 6 weeks, journal, read it at the end of 6 weeks, see what patterns emerge.
Amazing. And I love it because you basically merge two of the favorite things that I like to tell people, which is the directed journaling. If you need a crash course in figuring something out, write it down, do this over a few days, and then don't read it until you're done and you have the answers. So I love that. But also the win list. It's the same thing. Write down the good things that happened to you today.
Where were you happy? What is good to you? What does it mean to you? Because what's good for you, most people hate folding clothes. I hate the friggin' dishwasher. It's never done. So I just don't even touch it. That's Wonder Husbands. But find the things that you will. I promise you, at the end of 6 weeks, you will see a pattern and start to realize what you're good at and where you want to be.
Because again, you have the answer. You need to ask yourself the question. You need to gift yourself the time and the energy to figure it out. I love that.
You just kind of clear all the clutter and it'll start to take shape.
Okay, Heather, what goal are you gifting?
I love those. I love those goals. I feel like mine will piggyback off of that really well. I think, a lot of times we don't know ourselves and we don't give ourselves the space to explore. And so a lot of the people that I encounter, it's not that they don't have the answer. It's just that they maybe haven't given themselves just a few minutes each day to sort of sit and ask, did I enjoy that? Or did I do that because I'm shooting all over myself? Like, what's the thing that I want to be doing? How do I actually feel about that? And to really connect with your emotions to find out what is it communicating, because you'll feel it in your body. I tell people, like, you'll feel it. If it feels good to you, it might feel expansive. It might feel open. You might feel like a little chill. Your legs might tingle, but there's some sort of sensation in your body that will tell you that felt good. Or you might feel tightness in your gut, or you feel like a little twinge in your shoulder. There's something happening where you're like, you know what? That felt more restrictive to me. And so I think it's tuning in, giving yourself permission to just sit and feel, to process the feelings, to journal, to dance, to paint, whatever it is, but to just move it through your body. And then for me, it was really about like going back in time sort of and looking at, what did I really enjoy as a kid? What lit me up? What did I love? And it was always art, music, the high school plays. It was painting, it was drawing. I would, listening to music or singing. It was everything creative. That creative expression lived with me. And I put it in a box and I stuffed it way, way down. And so, we don't have to do that, but like go back and look at what lit you up as a kid. Because I think there's like something really beautiful in that innate curiosity that you have as a young person that is actually guiding you to work that you could be doing now that will continue to light you up.
Awesome. and to feel the things as you're doing it, because right? We all know.
It's like all those bad guys we dated, okay? Or bad women, whatever.
Right, you knew it.
No, you're good. I mean, even though, oh, he's so cute, I love him, we're gonna marry him. Whatever. You know, in your gut, it's like, oh no, he's an asshole. So, you know in your own brain and your own soul whether something's right for you or not.
Yeah.
Which really ties in so well in this topic of art and soul. I think we decided everything is art. However you express yourself is art. And the more you can tie it into your soul, the better it will be for you, but also for those around you, whether they're people you love who are in your world, or people who need to hear or see or experience what you have to share. Oh, I knew this was going to be fun today. I love it when I'm right. Friends, where can people learn more about you? Heather?
You can find me on all the socials, including TikTok that I haven't figured out yet either, at Heather Eck Artist, or my website at heathereck.com.
Great. And Jessie, where can people learn more about you?
Absolutely. You can find more about me on my blog, straight2thehipsbaby.com. I'm on all social media platforms at Straight to the Hips Baby.
Except for TikTok.
I am on TikTok. I just don't do it well. Or you can just Google my name, Jessie-Sierra Ross. You'll find me. I'm everywhere. I am a glutton for punishment.
Awesome. And Dayna?
Everything's at daynasteele.com, DaynaSteele. Links to all my social media, the play, the books, and most importantly, the resources, the free resources I've put together for families, including my list of questions I push on everyone, which is the 28 questions every family should ask and have the answers to now rather than later.
Wonderful. And I am at the Deb Method everywhere. And you can go to thedebmethod.com/blog to get all the links, read the recap, get the goals. And I am you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and now Substack. Really excitedly getting into that one as well. I now have 2, and I contribute to a 3rd. So if you need cheerleading and goals or book proposals, you can find those as well. And of course, you can learn more at thedebmethod.com. Like I said, really fun, important conversation today. I think when you really tap in to yourself and what you have to bring out into the world, it's going to benefit. Well, obviously it'll benefit you, but when you look at how what you love is going to impact others, that gives it it's like bonus fuel. So friends, before we leave, I would love your final thoughts. So let's go reverse order. Dayna, what final thought do you want to leave everybody with today?
There's no such thing as failure. It's only a lesson. Don't be afraid to try things. Just do it. Thomas Edison once said, I've never failed at anything. I just found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So.
Incredible. And Heather, final thought?
Pay attention to the colors around you in your home, in your office that you put on and wear, because they're always communicating something to you. And if you have any questions about what it might be saying, just message me and I'd be happy to share.
Fantastic. And Jessie, final thought.
Plant the seeds of opportunity. You will never reap the benefits unless you take that first step forward or plant that first seed. You have to try before you can ever gain.
And I think that really goes back to the question that I edited, which was, how do you really tap into it? Is you need to know it, and then you claim it, and then enjoy the ride. Thank you all so much. Heather, Jessie, Dayna, thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Debra Eckerling. I am live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also subscribe to GoalChat. And also, if you love food, Taste Buds with Deb. on your favorite podcast platform. And if you need a little extra push, you can grab a copy of 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting. Learn more about me and this wonderful, the people in the book, and this wonderful menu of options to create that life you deserve and desire. So claim your art, get into it with all of your soul. We know you can do it.